My name is Gerald Friedland. I'm from the International Computer Science Institute in Berkeley. That's it's a private, non-profit research institute affiliated with the University of California, Berkeley. And I'm here because we participated in the placing task, which is given a video, where does it come from? Basically, input is a video, output is GPS coordinates. And this is the second year we are doing this, and in the second year we had 10,000 Flickr videos, which we sort of had to say where they're coming from. And this task is massively interesting because there's so much training data in the web. So cameras, photo cameras, video cameras, and cell phones are basically geotagging data. So with all that training data in the web, basically people uploading videos and photos from their cell phones, from their cameras and so on into the web, you have like millions over millions of videos that are tagged with geotags. So you can use all of these as training data in order to actually then automatically tag the ones that don't have that geotagging. And geotagging is interesting for various reasons. For example, you have location-based services, or you can sort your vacation photos by, Florida and Hawaii and Europe, whatever. So this is then automatically based on the geotags. So what I learned in this workshop is, while in the first 2 years we were super excited that we have all this training data, we now learned a lot about, yes, it's all that training data, but it's not just the numbers. The problem is the quality of the training data is not as you want it to. First of all, geotags are not accurate, but that's not the major thing. The major issue is that it's biased. So what you have is, instead of the data being uniformly distributed over the world, of course it's not. There's an infrastructure bias. That means the data is distributed in such a way that you basically can map out streets and see where the buildings or the hotspots of many people are. But then if you want to geolocate something from, let's say, the desert or in the ocean, you have no chance because there's no data. And it's also, more importantly, there's a bias towards the countries that have these cameras which geotag, right? So like Africa, there's like no data, and in the US there's all kinds of data. And so that's the problem, that in reality it's sort of easy to do this, localize some video in a populated area in California, but it's not at all easy to do localize some video in a desert in Central Africa. And we actually, I think the future direction is we want to go and solve this data sparsity and the infrastructure bias problem, and actually be able to use all kinds of data so that you can find, the location of that whatever photograph in the Gobi Desert. What I do like a lot about this task, and especially what I do like a lot about media eval, is the really, the idea is to put multi back into multimedia, and I think that's exactly what they're doing. And what I did like about the placing task is there were so much different approaches, and most of them taking into multimedia into account somehow. This is really, really interesting. I mean, you ask yourself, okay, so there's so many approaches, why don't we combine them all, for example? And they were also complementary. And in fact, we had I think 5 or 6 teams participating. I mean, you can look it up. And there was basically 5 or 6 totally different approaches, which is, really cool, because that actually thrives innovation. And it's not like everybody did the same thing and then, just was tuning and engineering. It was really novel. I'm absolutely amazed by the Media Eval workshop this year. First of all, the participation doubled. But last year it was sort of a European kind of phenomenon, and the only US participant was basically us. Now it's really, we saw people from Korea, from Asia, more people from the US, and definitely all over Europe. So now we're getting to be really international, and I do like the fact that people get the message and support the message of putting the multi back into the multimedia. It feels like, it's always like this, that I feel like I've been saying this for years, and just, at some point then, when more people keep saying it for years, it starts happening. And I feel this is exactly what starts happening here. We have innovative tasks, and people actually do multimedia work. So this is awesome. What I also like is that this workshop is not tied to funding, right? So if you don't perform well, we don't perform well, then we talk about it and learn something from it. if you don't perform well in an evaluation workshop that is tied to funding, you're out of luck because then you don't get funding anymore. And so this independence of funding makes it actually like a real research experience and a real chilled out, like let's learn something kind of thing. Actually, I have to say that I just hope it goes on. I just love it, and I just hope that, for example, I can get the funding to be able to participate in one of the tasks, and then that Media Eval gets the funding to be able to to continue and go on, because I think it's such a good thing. And you have to see all these people here are here. The participation doubled, as I said, and they're all here by choice. It's not any funding agencies telling them you go there and you get a good score, otherwise you're out. No, we're just all here by choice, and this is the best thing and the best way to go. So I just hope it continues.